to where we still got the feedback, Phil.
Putting on our head and still doing it. Turn. Here we go.
Okay. Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, coming to you live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's turn the headset down just a bit, please. At David G. Evans 1 on any smart device. We're so glad you've taken the time to join us once again, as we're going to have another series of stimulating conversations, always from the perspective of faith, kingdom perspective. But we talk about politics, cultural events, both global and national and local events, and how we can apply biblical wisdom to the things that we are dealing with in everyday life. So we'll talk about culture and religion and faith and politics and sports and any major event, national or international, that would impact your life. So we're just glad you joined us. Won't you do us a favor, like and subscribe and share, so that others can join in on this conversation here on Point. You can give us a call if you'd like to talk to us, toll free, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. We love to talk to you. 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We love talking to you about what's on your mind today. Of course, joining me once again is our world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, they need to get this these headsets. We're still roaring in our headsets, you all, so kind of take care of that for us if you can. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
A lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching what appears to be a gross lack of wisdom as we approach an election that the entire government is potentially going to be shut down by 3 or 4 lunatics.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give us what we want. Is there no mechanism for expulsion of someone who thinks my agenda takes precedent over 375 million people's lives?
Nope. I'm assuming, because if I'm getting paid during the shutdown,
Isn't that amazing?
and other people aren't,
Isn't that amazing?
I'm not that concerned about. Yeah.
I find that to be I find that to be egregious.
Yeah, it is. Perfect word.
It's so they're going to keep getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
and the folk that work in the government with them
Mm-hmm.
will have to go without checks as long as they decide
Mm-hmm.
they want to do this. But there's an election coming up, so I need you to help me with this. Do they know something we don't know about the voters? Do they know that despite the fact that some people will be threatened with foreclosure and all this other stuff, can't make their car payments, can't send their kids to daycare, are they convinced that they can do this to people and they'll still get their vote?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's psychology I need to.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that in a minute, because I don't get that.
Yeah.
I'm taking money out of your hand, but I'm still going to support you.
Mm.
I know you're taking money out of my hand.
Well, to me, it's maybe too reductionistic to a point, but it's that single issue voter thing.
Okay.
If you do these one, two things,
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of forgive the rest of the stuff.
Even if you mess with my money?
Yes. Like, remember the
Well, it happened here in New Jersey.
yeah, the promise of the coal miners. Well, New Jersey here.
Yeah.
West
Yeah.
Virginia, Trump gonna bring back coal.
Yeah.
He gonna do
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
nothing for them at all,
And they still support him.
and still support him.
How do rational? Well, I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
That was the wrong word.
Yeah.
I got ready to say rational. I got ready to say thinking.
Mm-hmm.
How do reasonable people have anybody make a blatant promise to them like that that impacts everyone in your house?
Yep.
He does absolutely nothing, and he's still okay with it.
Yeah. I go back to the LBJ quote.
Okay.
He said, if you make a poor white person feel better than a poor black person, you could take, I'm paraphrasing the phrase, you can take their money all day long and they'll basically just won't say anything.
Wow.
So this whole getting our country back is more important than this. As long as we get our country back, our status back, our perceived status, that.
But when did working people have the country?
It's not about the money. It's about the color. It's about the conservative. It's these woke crowd taking over. And
So what really is being verbalized is, I no longer feel superior. I no longer feel advantaged. I no longer feel privileged. And I want that feeling back, even though I may be in the welfare line with everybody else.
yes, yeah,
Something's wrong with that thinking to me. How?
yeah, yep.
How is that okay?
Right. It's like, even from slavery, the poor whites used to identify with the blacks that were
Okay,
slaves because
okay.
you basically don't
Same
have
life,
much,
same
same
life.
lifestyle, except
Yeah.
one slaves, one's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
But the corporate people were smart, evil smart. They made the poor whites feel superior than the slaves by
Okay.
put them as like people working in the fields,
Okay.
overseers.
Okay.
And this divide came
A hierarchy came.
without realizing we're all kind of in the same boat when it comes to a certain degree, besides the slavery piece. But
I've been saying for almost 30 years, and I had this revelation real early on. Republicans historically tend to be concerned with business and the wealthy, and not concerned at all with working people.
Yep.
But what I don't like is the repetitive casualties that don't cause working people to start to shift what it is. But we go back to what you just said, and that is status means everything.
Yep.
I can be on welfare, unemployment, but status.
Yep. It's crazy enough. You remember, I think was it Reagan or the first Bush, the whole welfare queen thing?
Okay.
Whichever one, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
though. They labeled it as an African-American woman, a brown-skinned woman, da-da-da-da. And then not all, but a portion of whites that were on welfare are down in welfare because of who they presented the picture of the welfare queen, though. Now they're on welfare too.
Now you do know she was fictitious.
Yeah, absolutely fictitious.
That she wasn't real.
No,
They made her up.
they made her up, but to them that was the model of welfare. I'm on welfare, but we need to end welfare for these people, but not for us.
Because it never made sense to me. I didn't know, for instance, if you're living in a $1 million home and you're paying for it, and you're driving 2 Benzes and you're paying for them, a $1 million home alone is about $6,000-$7,000 a month in mortgage payments. So even if she was getting, how was she going to live?
Right. Right.
So it was so fictitious, but people went for it.
Yep.
And it gave the impression that only people of color were taking advantage of the welfare system.
Yep.
Not unlike COVID money. I saw a couple examples where individuals took advantage of COVID money. But they didn't do a whole lot of talking about the corporations. They got 100 million, 50 million, 40 million, and then fired the folk they got the money for.
Yep.
After they received the money.
Yep.
Closed down multiple hundred stores across the country, but only after they received the money.
Yep.
And the money was supposed to be to sustain the employees.
Corporate welfare is allowed because that lie, they're going to create jobs, they're going to help stimulate the economy.
Trickle down was a lie.
Yeah, and they ain't doing none of that stuff.
Trickle down, it's not even slide down. It's not creep down. Trickle down is just a lie.
Yeah,
Because wealthy people, as a whole, are trying to retain their wealth, and they do the things to retain it, which I don't blame them. But to give the impression that if I give you $100 million break in taxes, that's going to impact somebody who's going to work every day, working for $15 an hour. No. There may be a few people that get that impact, but to give the impression that, okay, everybody's going to benefit, that's just, it's facetious.
It is. And I remember it was during McCain. They were really, when McCain was running against Obama, they were really spinning that lie of wealth creators, job creators, and expecting. There were some CEOs that did right by their people.
Sure.
And there were a lot that didn't do right by their people.
The ones that did right by them, that were publicized in the minority.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, a vast minority.
Yeah. Well, this is why this one guy in Seattle, I'm not saying everybody's good with this drastic, but he worked for a credit card company. He owned a credit card company. He lowered his salary to raise everybody else's salary up.
Okay.
And then come to find out, of course, they start buying houses closer to the job so they can live closer rather than commuting 30, 40 minutes away.
Okay.
Productivity went up the job.
Okay.
People felt better.
Right.
They worked harder.
Right.
Who knew paying people a good salary would incentivize them? And then the company made more money because the people felt valued. They felt, like, why is this? But people,
Capitalism
some CEOs,
requires poverty.
Yeah. But I'm like, this is making the company more money.
Capitalism requires poverty.
But for him to be selfless and say, I'm going to take away a part of my income, because he was looking at the bigger picture. This is going to help the business long term rather than.
But that's not what most people are looking at. They're looking at what can I get next week.
Right.
I'm not thinking, well, let me lose a couple $1 million and just to help a few people. When you can hire people to replace those people all the time.
Yep.
It's just, I know in banking, one of the big problems I had in banking was having been a top producer in my division, and I saw the fees that were charged. So it was conceivable that as a lender, I could bring in $10 million in fees a year. But then you go to talk about a raise, and they say, well, we can only give you like 3%.
Yeah.
So I immediately said, well, wait a minute. I did $10 million in fees last year. That's the I call it the add-on to what they charge you to get the loan.
Yeah.
And every major loan has fees. 0.5% of $1 billion. Yeah. 0.75% of $20 million. That's standard. So I'm looking like, okay, I did put $10 million, and that goes right to the bottom line. Yeah. I did put $10 million on the bottom line, and you're telling me you're going to give me 2.5%? And that's what made me go into business.
Yeah. I don't blame you, because they'll do everything to keep their money.
And
I'm not against you keeping your money.
It's like casinos.
But don't screw people over in the process.
It's like casinos, man. They let somebody win every now and then, but they're in business to keep your money. Yeah. Yep. I don't even know why they call it a game of chance.
Right. I know. But I mean, that's scriptural, from a scriptural perspective.
Absolutely.
There's a reason the Bible warns against greed and calls greed a sin. Because when I start caring about my money, my life more than somebody else's, I've moved into that injustice phase of greed, and
gluttony,
and giving is supposed to break the back of greed. But I don't know how we try to warp this philosophy that I'm doing the right thing by I'm worth $500 million. And I don't care if you make an extra $500 million. Go ahead and do it, but not at the expense of people.
That's capitalism. We pervert.
Yeah.
In order for something to be perverted, first it has to exist, and secondly, it has to be the truth.
Yeah.
You can only pervert something that exists and something that is true.
Yep.
So the whole bless others to be blessed does not fit into that equation. That's been perverted. What it is now, get all I can get, keep all I can keep, and you pull yourself up by these theoretical bootstraps that most people don't even have boots,
Right.
much less the straps to pull themselves up.
And you know more wealthy people than I do.
Yeah.
That whole they can pull themselves up by themselves is a lie. They didn't pull themselves up by themselves. They had help.
Yeah.
They had assistance, and
Or they got a unique break.
right. Yeah.
And to say that everyone's going to get that unique break is just not practical.
No.
But when we think about what God says he can do through our lives and give him the opportunity to work through us,
Yep.
if we start to do what he says, give like he says give,
Yep.
he gives us the guarantee
Yes, sir.
that I'm gonna bless you in the midst of whatever's going on. But I think the problem for most believers, for many believers, I wouldn't say most, is that they can't actually see themselves like God sees them.
Yep.
God sees you blessed, but you got to position yourself to get blessed. But we don't we have a hard time seeing ourselves like God sees us, so we won't step into that role.
Right. Yep. Of doing our part to work and to
Absolutely.
do, and everybody's not going to be a billionaire, but
No.
having what your needs met, most of what you want, that is available.
The book says all sufficiency
Yeah.
in all things. That's
Yep.
what it says.
Yeah.
And it also says that money answers a whole lot of problems.
And we could take care of some stuff.
Absolutely.
But like you said, for believers, can God trust us with the money that when we get it, we'll do the right thing with it? Get generous to people.
Well, you might as well go the extra step. Don't stop there. 'Cause
Okay.
I know you try to be nice to people. So reality is, and I teach this in our Embrace class, God is looking at how you handle stuff now,
Yep.
especially after you come to know him, to see if you can handle more.
Yep.
If you prove to him that you can't handle the $10, why would he give you 1,000?
Yep.
But that's biblical. It's in the book.
Yep.
Faithful over few, ruler over many. Faithful over someone else's, I can give you your own. That's
Yeah.
positioning.
Yeah. And he gave it to them based off of proven behavior, not
Yes.
intention.
Yeah. Not it when one day when I get,
Right.
then I'm going to do.
Yeah.
No. All right. I'm not making what I want to make, but I'm still biblical in my stewardship. That's showing God we can be trusted.
Yep.
He says, okay, here's someone that I can trust with more.
Yep. Yep.
But we can't see ourselves with more.
So we just run through.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
true.
go to the phone. We got Robin from Delaware on line 1. We've got Danny from Florida on line 3. You can give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Robin. Good morning, Robin. How you doing?
Well, good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick.
Good morning.
It's been weeks.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the system is working.
Yeah, it's working fine.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yes.
We hear you wonderfully.
Okay, because I can barely hear you, but I can hear you.
You can barely hear us?
Yep.
Do you have your volume up on your device?
Yes, on my phone. Yeah.
Okay, so we're having a volume transmission
Okay.
issue.
Well, I
can
checked on
hear
the
you
thing.
now.
We're fine
I
on the
hear you
phone.
better.
We're
We're
fine
fine?
there. Yeah, we're
All
fine
right.
there. It's her thing.
You sure?
Pastor Nick.
Yeah,
you
I
gonna
started
do me
her.
like that?
No, at the beginning of radio, I had my
know.
phone on and I made sure the volume was. and I heard it.
Let's check it now. See what we're doing. Yeah. So,
Oh,
how have you
God.
been, Robin?
I've been good. I mean, God is so good. This is the day that the
Yeah.
Lord has made.
Yeah.
You all healed up?
Oh, yeah, my testimony. First, I want to thank you, Bishop, Pastor Nick, for your prayers, and those that are online, my brothers and sisters who was praying for me. I had the procedure, no cancer.
Good.
Good.
Wonderful.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord,
God
praise
is
the
good.
Lord.
God
I
is
knew
good.
anyway. You know,
Yeah,
you
God
know
is
the church I go to?
Yes,
Bethany Baptist Church?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, God. But I need to ask you and Pastor Nick a favor.
Okay.
I know, right? Right.
No, but you know, I'm 62,
Okay.
and I'm learning to really get ready for my retirement, whenever that's going to be.
Okay.
I've been buying stocks, making, some money, but have y'all thought about maybe having a seminar for us who may want to learn more how to buy, how to leave it there, how to invest, trade? I mean, have a class, just have to, charge, but
Did you ever participate in the investment club we had?
Yeah, we did those things. Yeah.
No, because maybe I wasn't aware of it, or maybe I just didn't know. But I know y'all. Did y'all ever have like a financial?
Robin, where you been?
Before the pandemic, we had sessions. During the pandemic, we did some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, in person, we're working those things back again.
So Robin,
Okay, that's what you're in person. Yeah, okay.
He gave you an out. He gave you an out, Robin.
Have an in person. That's what I meant to add.
No. He
did
rescued
online
you.
stuff all through the
rescued
pandemic.
you. All through the pandemic, we had online stuff. Before the pandemic, we had live stuff. So there's no excuse.
Remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I do remember the one with the financial planner guy. What was his name?
John Feast.
Yes, that one.
Girl.
But in person, yeah, I really need to learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
So y'all have to do one in person. Thank you, Pastor Nick.
It was in the plans anyway, but that does not excuse.
The fact that the table was set. You turned your plate down.
Oh gosh, I can't win. I tried. I did try, y'all.
Oh, goodness.
I just have two things, and I'm done.
Okay.
But first, I know y'all saw the video of, what's her name, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
The one where she gave the business to the Republican Party during the hearing?
Yes. Oh.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it, though.
Yeah, she was effective. Mm-hmm. She was quite ethnic.
Yes, I heard of her, yes.
Yeah, and then Ocasio came along. Mm-hmm. And, because they're opposites. Ocasio tends to be quite calm.
Yeah.
Crockett is kind of, she's energetic. Mm-hmm. But she made her point, said what she had to say. And then Ocasio comes behind her and says, I just got one question for you. So she asked the question, and all of the witnesses got disqualified.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of them, they disqualified themselves at the beginning of the hearing.
Fire.
Because they know this is bogus.
Yeah.
You're wasting money on this.
But the experts said, no, we don't have any tangible, viable evidence of anything.
Yeah, nothing.
That's what the witness, because they couldn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outside the room, they could lie.
Yeah.
In the room, they couldn't lie.
Yep.
She was on fire. Okay, Pastor, you might want to look these up. You might already heard, and then I'm going to hang up. The young man that tried to drown a black kid released from jail.
Yeah, I heard about that.
After he released, he punched another black person with racial slurs. The other thing that this is just really irritating me. I'm like, Bishop, sometimes I can't even watch it. Mm-hmm. But the teacher regarding writing the N-word on a student board next to a student's name in California, she resigned. What is going on? So much of this it's like I'm back in the 60s.
Well, the problem is, Robin, and like we taught when we were, we got to get back to it doing the 1 John. The fruition of this hatred is not sudden. Mm-hmm. These are emotions that have been building for a long time. And people are feeling a little less restrained about voicing them. But they also are so emotionally wound up, but they neglect the fact that there may be consequences. Mm-hmm. I saw a video months ago where this woman of color was in the lobby of a hotel, and she came down to ask about breakfast. A white lady came out the elevator, and told the woman, "I don't want you here. You get out." Mm. So the lady was like, "I'm just, I'm a guest here, blah, blah, blah." Woman kept going after her. So the lady acted like she was leaving, and when she got to the woman, she spit on her.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and as my grandmother would say, business picked up.
Yeah.
So business picked up. I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. And but the woman thought she was going to be able to do that.
Yep. And
just walk by so she could say, "Yeah, I spit on her." Mm-hmm. She got a public butt whipping.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they don't think of consequences. They're just thinking about how they want to express themselves.
Yep. But how the young man, they let him out of jail? Isn't that considered attempted murder when you're trying to drown somebody?
Of course it is.
I hope there's never a race war.
There won't be. But the fact of the matter is that that's just, there's not going to be. People are threatening that. What happens, Robin, is that people in that mindset are not really looking for trouble. They just want to give people the impression that they're in danger. And that will cause the people to make decisions or, vote people into office that will support the fear. So that's what that's all about. It happened in Texas. They had a wonderful governor. She was doing great work. But the people that do these studies got together and told her opponent, if you start making the people in the suburbs feel like they're in danger of black people moving into the neighborhoods, we can get her out of office. And there was never a threat. But they had, psychologically, they stoked it up, and the woman lost her seat. And one of the best governors Texas has ever had.
I just feel things. We just keep praying and praying, and I know God's working behind the scenes. But I know things, has to change. So.
Well, it will change.
It will. Oh yeah, it will. So, but thank you for your time. It's so nice to talk to y'all and hear your voice. Y'all thought I was just listening on the other time, on the other Saturday. Couldn't get through.
Talk to you.
Well, y'all make sure y'all let me know ahead of time.
Oh,
Lord. Have the in person so I can put it in my calendar.
We always let everybody know ahead of time.
I know.
All right.
Talk. Love you guys.
Bye-bye. That was Robin from Bear, Delaware.
Yeah. And just to clarify, the young man he's still going to trial. They just let him out of prison with a monitor. He's 14 with a monitor, restricted with his father, that kind of thing.
And what happened?
So he took a young black kid. They were around a pond.
Okay.
And he allegedly called the boy George Floyd and tried to drown him.
Really?
Yeah. And another kid sat by and watched it. And then somehow, of course, the kid got out of it. So that's how he was arrested for it, and he is going to trial for it.
So the guy that tried to do the drowning is going to trial.
Yeah. Okay. They just let him out on
so
parole.
while he was out on probation or parole, he tried to drown someone.
No, he tried to drown somebody first.
Okay, then he got arrested.
Okay. And now he's out, but he's house arrest with his father.
Okay.
With a GPS monitor, that type, until he goes to court.
Amazing.
Yeah. 14.
The Bible. This hate, although it's being expressed suddenly, is not sudden in its origins.
Yeah.
We're seeing the culmination of years and years of attitude and emotions built that climax in some act of violence or stupidity.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, well, it's
the parents. Something
Parents.
Yeah.
The house you grow up in can give you a filter till you can't see you can't see the humanity in people.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we have about 2 minutes to get to Danny before we go to a break at 9:30.
You do it now if you want.
Want to do the break now?
Yeah, we do it now.
Let's do the break now, y'all. We'll be right back. This is On Point.
Jesus said, "This is the first and greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it. Love others as you love yourself." So the question is, do you love? I mean, do you really live the definition of love? Are you patient? Are you kind? Do you celebrate in the blessings of others? Are you humble? Have you died to self? Are you slow to anger? Do you keep no record of wrongs? Do you always protect? Always trust? Always hope? Always persevere? This is what it means to love, the way God intended. So the question remains, do you love?
Wow.
That's a good.
Wonderful.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Do you love?
Yeah.
Welcome back to On Point. We're the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. Won't you please invite someone to join our conversation today? Like and subscribe to us. Share as much as you can so others will be able to take advantage of what God is doing through this particular broadcast. Let's go talk to Danny today. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick, staff.
Hey,
How y'all
sir.
doing?
Doing great, man. What's going on down there in Florida?
Everything.
I saw your governor on TV and a news clip yesterday, and he was talking about, how the education system was kind of tilted against people that weren't of color, and how, critical race theory, we're getting that out of school, and, trying to make us feel guilty, and unbelievable stuff.
It's really, really crazy, things that's happening here.
Uh-huh.
And people is piling up, and he really can't come home. By that, what I mean is this. If he makes a public appearance,
Mm-hmm.
people are not forgetting things that happened. Number one, Jacksonville.
Okay.
Okay, he doesn't mention anything about that or say anything because he was booed, shouted down when he made his appearance there.
Or was he?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, they booed him until he had to stop talking.
Did he?
Yeah,
People are not forgetting.
yeah.
See, the thing is that before they were something happened and you just smooth it over and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's not okay.
Okay.
The other thing that's happening is that people are moving away. Like you said, they're not moving to.
Okay.
All right? By that, what I mean, when you allow certain protesters to protest right at the main gate of Disney,
Okay.
and they're using foul language and all these other things.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm bringing my kids, I want a happy time.
Sure.
I don't want anything like that and all these different signs and stuff like that, and kids start asking questions.
What kind of signage is it, Danny?
It's the Nazis out there.
The Nazis
Yes.
are at the gate of Disney World?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why?
They been out there doing their thing, protesting. I guess all the wokeness and all the. I guess they're finding Florida to be the place, a comfortable place, to be themselves.
And then the thing about it is that, you're allowing these things to happen, and then he comes up with this law is that you can't hang a sign off of an expressway to protest. Like that's supposed to change.
So, is Disney private property or public? I think it's private, isn't it?
Private.
Yeah.
Okay, so why isn't Disney calling the police and asking for those people to be moved from in front of the entrance? Because
They're do.
huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bethany.
No,
That's it.
that was me. So
Mm-hmm.
why isn't Disney calling the police and having those people removed?
They're doing everything that they can, and they're trying to tone the situation down
Okay.
and what have you. But he is trying. He's in a very tough position
Mhm.
because no matter which way he moves, he's like in between two pit bulls.
Okay.
If you move forward, he'll bite you. If you come back, the other one will bite you.
Okay.
Okay, so all of these things are catching up with him. The education situation,
Mhm.
people don't understand it, that you seem to know so much, but you don't even come to my neighborhood. You don't speak to me. You can go to another state and speak to people in those neighborhoods, but you're not coming to your own state and your own people and your own neighborhood and speak to them. You don't even know me, who I am.
I think what's ironic to me is that he's a Harvard-educated history degree. He's degreed in history from Harvard, which means that was the core of his education. And this individual who's Harvard-educated in history wants part of history denied. How does he juxtapose those two together? And who is he trying to please? And here's the next part of that question. Why has that pleased so many people? That's what I
And
want.
The situation is that you bringing up these old things, and once you bring that up, and then they bring it back to the memory of people like myself who know the history of exactly what happened and how things were taken away from us, okay? And you often ask the question, why don't you just move, all right? And I was raised that you don't take nothing from me.
Okay.
It's mine, okay? Now, what's going on down here now as you know the geographical setup, especially South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You can only go but so far west. Once you reach the Everglades, there's no more property.
Okay.
So that puts a very high value of everything that's east. Now we have a large influx of people coming in legally and illegally.
Okay.
Now, he created a problem when he said that there's a law that if I catch you giving a ride to someone to go to work, okay, and they're here illegally, you will be arrested. So people are moving away.
I'm amazed. It's almost like my grandma used to say, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Mm-hmm. A lot of the workers that he's penalizing are people that they need to do the work mm-hmm. that other people don't want to do. Mm-hmm. But then he complains about a labor shortage. Yep. It's not making any sense to me.
Exactly.
Danny, it makes no sense to me. Yeah. So I'm pushing away the labor that will do the jobs that I don't want to do, mm-hmm. and then I'm going to complain there's no one to work.
Yep. Now the other thing that's literally happening is that there's such a demand on property and mm-hmm. places to live mm-hmm. that they're coming up with all sorts of tactics to force people to move or want to move.
Really?
Yes. So they're going block by block in certain areas, buying homes.
Okay.
Tearing down those homes and building large condos, apartment buildings. And so where you had a neighborhood that maybe housed 12 homes, mm-hmm. something like that, mm-hmm. you now have a building that would hold several hundred people and what have you. And they're going through neighborhoods, creating fear tactics, shooting guns and stuff like that, and they're scaring these people away.
They've been doing that for years, though. Either they'll raise the property taxes around the area mm-hmm. to get everybody out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so they can go in there and
gentrify the place.
Yep.
Well, and you taught me, and another friend of mine taught me from Florida, that because my other friend actually works in the department in where's Disney World located?
Orlando.
Orlando.
And works in the mayor of Orlando's office, and kind of gave me some insight on some things years ago. That there's this special relationship, and this is all over Florida, that developers have with municipalities.
Yes.
And
you're right on it.
And they're able to basically cut corners. When that building collapsed, it was because one of those deals was made.
Okay.
And they cut corners building, and were just worried about the money and the immediate benefit, and really weren't concerned about what would happen 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road.
Yeah. And they'll like any corporate company, they'll just throw money at it to fix it, mm-hmm. which they probably had saved up for just in case. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is a cold world, man. And they'll go back and do it all over again.
Build something else.
How you have, well, no, we talked about that. The acceptable loss. They have a certain number of losses that are okay. Mm-hmm. Put the money out and go back and do the same thing again.
Well, you build the building, you get paid. You continue to get paid. Mm-hmm. You sell the condos to people, so you're getting it cashed out the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then you just turn your back on it because you got yours.
Yeah.
So if it falls,
yeah.
It's rough.
That's cold-hearted, man.
Man, that's capitalism.
That's the devil. That's got to be.
That's capitalism without compassion. That's all it is.
Wow.
Now, there's something that you said to us, Pastor Nate, years ago, and it keeps playing itself over and over again, is that when we went through the financial situation where people were losing their homes and what have you, and they came up with this situation to help the homeowners and what have you, why give the money to the banks? They gave the money to the banks. The banks still put the people out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And nothing was done about that.
That was directly to the profit line, man.
Yeah. And the banks bought the houses, sold them again. So they made money just
hand over fist.
Yes.
But if you're a real estate developer and you've had losses in previous years, you can apply those losses to current years.
Yep.
So that means that you run a loss, and you're eligible for what we would think would be a life-changing tax refund of several $1 million.
Yep.
It's amazing.
And the fact that I think Bank of America was guilty of it, and we knew people who had this experience.
Mm-hmm.
They were extending their foreclosure and doing those manipulative things to kind of get the person out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, applying payments that were meant for the mortgage to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da-da-da. It's a cold world to do that much manipulation to get. We need all these people out of these houses.
Yep.
And we'll do everything we can to get this process going to get them out.
I know.
Even when they're trying to get ahead.
I know from firsthand information that they had a unit in one building that was working on the foreclosures. They had a unit in the other building that was working on the refinance or the restructure of the loan. And the restructuring of the loan process was honey slow.
Yes. Yep.
So that the foreclosure would go through.
Yes.
So you think you're getting a relief on one hand because you're getting restructured, and they're pushing the foreclosure in the other building.
Yep.
And that's, a guy I know, he was able to build quite a big company based on that process.
Yeah.
So they were foreclosing and giving the impression they were helping you at the same time
And
when they had no intention.
No intention at all.
They want the property back so they can resell it.
Yep. Yeah. There were some banks around here that, from a very basic standpoint.
Yeah.
If you deposited an X amount of a check into your account because you know you had some upcoming bills, they would hold the check, deposit, take all those bills out so you can overdraft.
That's right.
They can get the fees
Get all the
and
fees.
then deposit your check in there and say you overdrawn your account.
Yeah. Imagine if 100,000 people a week do that.
They were doing that like crazy.
Imagine 100,000
Yep.
people a week.
And when they found out about it, it was a slap on the wrist. And all these people had all these fees taken out, nothing restored. And they're like, I deposited this check in enough time for it to be deposited. And they held it on purpose, and the people could do nothing about it.
I had recent personal experience where the bank decided to do a security analysis on one of my accounts. Never said anything. First I found out about it, major checks are bouncing. So I have to go over to the bank, and they're like, well, we're doing a security check and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, why didn't you call me?
Right. You ain't say nothing.
Say something to me. Well, how we do it? No. What do I tell this creditor and this creditor and this creditor?
Yeah.
But what they did do, after I fussed enough, they sent a letter to each of the creditors saying they froze the account because they were doing so and so. But I had to fuss about that.
Yeah. Just so cares about what happened to your life as long as they.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's cold, man.
And I mean, man,
That is
it
cold.
was at the first of the month type of thing too.
Oh, when all this stuff came out? Oh,
man.
jeez. Right.
It was. I was riding down the street and I see one of my checks bouncing down the street. It was crazy.
Okay,
cold.
one question, and I'm gonna get off the line.
Sorry, Dan.
Okay.
Here, Bishop. Is God talking to us? We see things that's happening in Hawaii. We see hurricanes in California. We see forest fires and it's going that you can't see, like in your part of the world, in New York and what have you. Now you have New York that's flooding and have storms. All the hurricanes are bypassing Florida and going up north.
He never stops talking to us.
Do we need to change from the wicked ways?
He never stops talking to us. What amazes me is that he continually communicates with us, and that all of us at one time or another have taken advantage of his patience. When he says he's long-suffering, he really means it. But
Wow.
But he does have intervals when he has to get our attention in very profound ways. And all this stuff is biblically prophesied about, all these disasters and rumors of this and earthquakes and disasters here and there. Those are all signs of the times that we need to pay attention to. But we leave them in the realm of natural disasters and never understand the spiritual implications of something that has a supernatural element to it. Because the Bible predicts all of this stuff. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. How my sister doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
She doing good?
Very good. Very good.
Tell her I asked for her, please.
We'll do, Bishop.
And y'all stay safe down there, man.
All right. Thank you all.
Talk to
very
you
much.
soon. Bye-bye. Coming up on another break, This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. You can give us a call after the break, or you can start dialing now, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. If you're writing to us and communicating with us through Facebook, where else can they talk to us?
YouTube and Facebook.
YouTube and Facebook today. You can write us and we'll respond to you. Whatever post you make, whatever text you send, or whatever it is you're sending, whatever you write, we'll respond to it. We'll be right back.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
We're back. Thank you for joining us today. We're having a great time. Thank you for joining the conversation. We're going to Scott from Vineland, New Jersey. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Bishop Evans, Preston, how you guys doing today?
Doing all right, man. You good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As Pop used to say, gentlemen of the jury. It's always good to talk to you.
I miss your dad, boy.
Yeah, yes. Me and Leon were just talking about you yesterday. If your ears are ringing, that was us. He remembers yesterday. Dad had a sharp mind. I think it was up in Bordentown, Bishop. You were president of the bank, if I'm not mistaken, and
vice president,
toy factory or something. And
yeah.
We just I told Nye this morning. I said, Bishop was crazy about Dad, and I miss him so much. But through the strength of God, and Nia support me and her family. I just try and do the things that he taught me. And I tell the guys around the ice rink, they'll say something like thumbs up, and I got all of them doing thumbs up now too. So
yeah,
I miss him, but I got to live the right life to see him again.
That's right. How's my man doing?
Leon, he's doing good. He's gonna be coming up the next few weekends. He graduated from Strider University in Atlanta.
Yeah.
2 weekends ago, and I said, when you come up, our buddy Steve that works for the bank, we're going to treat him to a couple places. Just make sure it's not Del Frisco States. But we're just looking for him coming up here, and I'm so proud of him, Bishop. And I know you are at his age and going back to school, and Leon striving.
He said he told me that he was going to come by when he comes this time. So
yes, I told him we both got to get by there, both of us.
Yeah, so. I'm hoping to see him. Hoping to see you guys doing service or something. What's on your mind this morning?
President Biden with this immigration stuff. I know last time I talked, you answered my question about him being a leader, but Bishop and Pastor Nick, maybe it's not to sound hateful, but it's getting getting outrageous now. That we saw a bunch of buses in Vineland last week. I'm like, come on now. To me and Naya's point, it just seems like you should take care of home first. You still got homeless people here, and then you got vets, of course, who serve this country, who are homeless, and it's just like you're helping other people out. And what about taking care of home too?
You know where the bus? You know where the bus?
Wrong for saying that?
You know where the buses came from?
No, sir.
The buses didn't come from Mexico. The buses came from other governors deciding to dump their immigrants on other states. New York is in a crisis now because they've taken in something almost 200,000 immigrants. And that system that they've got going up there is just about breaking because, they're having to come up with new capacities. But you got guys like the guy in Florida who, a state that's made primarily of immigrants, shipping them to other states. They did it to Martha's Vineyard, I think, last year. So it's you got people pushing folk out of their states because they don't want to deal with it. But the fact of the matter is that everybody knows that during the Obama administration, they cut immigration down to a point that had never been seen in history in the last 30, 40 years.
Okay.
They understand that the wall that was supposed to be built to prevent all that never got built. They just cut the budget back for those workers and then complained about the fact that more immigrants were coming in. And now we're dealing with trying to fix the situation. Our problem, Scott, is this. We are touting ourselves as the
Right.
place in the world where everybody can come and find a new life.
Okay.
They're coming, they want to work, and they want to do the jobs that most Americans don't want to do.
Okay.
So
That-
they're all not gang members. They're all not murderers.
Right.
You know, there's a generalization that is somewhat appropriate because of the stuff that's publicized. Just like all black men are trifling. That's not true. But
Absolutely.
the generalization is based on the fact that there is a segment of us who are irresponsible.
Right.
So that prejudice is not coming from the majority. It's based upon a minority operating within the population of the people that we're talking about. But I think we got to either decide we're going to be the melting pot for the world, which we've taken full advantage of, or we got to decide that we're not. And to say that we're not, it's, you know, you got to tear down the Statue of Liberty.
Right. Right.
Bring
I will-
me
I
your
will- I will-
your masses, your huddled masses. Is that what it says? You know, so that's been the credo of our country for so long, and a lot of people that are now intimidated or complaining about immigration would not be here if their parents hadn't immigrated to this country.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
but I get it. You know, I think I've always felt as though that if we can spend $900 billion to help another country, why can't we take $50 billion of that and cure homelessness and stuff right here? That's my thing. You got money for everything you want to have it for, and it gives the impression that we don't want to take care of home first. We don't see it as a priority because we need the poverty to be capitalist. That's what this thing is all about. It's about profit margins and the like. But again, being redundant, if I've got $900 billion for some other country, why can't I spend 100 of that here and solve a couple social problems? We call it helping another country. We call it socialism in our own country. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. I thought me and I were just taking that, but it doesn't clarify. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, we got money for this stuff, man. We got money for everything we want to spend it on. A politician told me that they make those decisions when they think it's a good use of funds.
Okay.
And that good use of funds is not always for the benefit of people, which does not make sense to me at all.
Okay. I thought it was just me thinking like that. Nah.
No.
That's all I have, fellas.
All right, man.
God bless. Talk to you soon.
Good talking to you.
We'll see you soon when Leon comes up.
All right.
All right. Take care.
I don't believe you, but go ahead. Talk to you.
All right. Bye.
Now, Target, the favorite store of a lot of people that I know, is closing 9 stores in the nation, right?
Yeah, and they're not the only store.
Due to theft.
Yep,
Okay.
not the only store.
You know, we lose supermarkets in urban areas because of that. I was actually in the store the other day, and I had heard about it, but I'd never seen it. I walked up on a loaf of bread, half open, some cold cuts, and something to drink on the shelf open. I'm like, it really does happen. People, they're eating while they're shopping.
Yep. And even like you see the videos of people walking in with their masks on and they come and
Yes.
take a bunch of stuff and leave.
Yes.
They say San Francisco is a huge problem. Whole Foods left San Francisco.
Wow.
I think Neiman Marcus was one of the biggest ones out there.
okay.
A lot of those stores are leaving these areas because of
The theft is so high.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to stay in business.
yeah.
Now, the other thing I think Target is grossly understaffed. You know, it's like going in there and you can walk around for a minute and not run into an employee.
They're becoming Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. And the people that I know that don't like Walmart prefer Target. And I get it, because Target has a different feel.
It does.
I like the feel of Target when I go in.
Yeah.
And Walmart, you know, I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like that 30 cents is not worth going over there.
No. No. Sometimes.
You know, but
Yeah.
they have virtually everything you
They
want.
got good stuff in there, man. But you're right. I mean,
I wouldn't buy a TV at Target.
okay, no, I go to Target.
I go to Walmart.
Yeah. Get cheaper price. Yeah. But I think you're seeing that you're right with that stuff. People eating grapes off the thing. You know, I'm like, how you eating these unwashed grapes first
Terrible,
off? And
terrible.
This is trifling first.
I saw a woman taking bananas off of. I'm like, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And it's so much so they're just letting people take stuff from the store now because they don't have the security to be able to go in there. Well, they're claiming they don't have the money for the security to do a bunch of stuff.
They don't want to pay for the security.
Yeah.
So, and maybe they think that maybe some stores, not all stores, because some people still guarding their stuff. That okay, if I hire a security guy, I got to pay him 50, 60 grand. I got to pay 20, 30 grand in benefits and all the other stuff that goes along with having an employee. So I got a $100,000 employee. I got somebody stealing Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I let the Kool-Aid go.
They're like, yeah, let it roll. Yeah.
You know,
I know.
so this Irizarry guy that got killed in Philly, because we had members at one time whose last name was Irizarry, I called them just to make sure. Hadn't seen him in years, but I called him just to make sure that it wasn't the Irizarry that I was familiar with, the kid's father. And they said no, but what's happening in Philly?
So the cop claimed
Okay.
that he lunged at him.
Okay.
Eddie lunged at him with a weapon.
Okay.
They couldn't prove any of that stuff.
Okay.
So they dismissed it because they claimed there wasn't enough proof.
Inconclusive.
Yeah, that the cop was wrong in killing him. Because the guy, Eddie, did have a knife on him.
Okay.
But he claimed he lunged at him with the knife and he shot him, which they're saying they
Was
can't
the knife
confirm
in his pocket when they found his body?
No, it was in his hand. It was out of his pocket.
Okay.
But they said it was by his side.
Okay.
So anyway, they let him go. There was a peaceful protest after it was over.
Okay.
And then, of course, some people took advantage of it.
And started looting?
And started looting. You didn't see the videos? They started looting around Rittenhouse Square area and other areas. Now, these were just, and the crazy thing, at first they said it was a bunch of teenagers. These are like 20-something-year-olds.
These are adults.
Adults going into Foot Locker and a couple of places in Apple and, looting. They're separate from the protest, but people, again, taking advantage of. But here's the problem. They did it in the Strawberry Mansion area, I think, and some other places. You're looting these local places where you guys go to shop.
Right.
And then the people have to find the money to either start up again or just completely leave. And then you're mad there's nothing there.
It's silly.
And I'm like, it's sad that the whole community has to suffer for
A few knotheads.
Yeah. And the one girl, social media's revealed how dumb we are.
Okay.
She's live streaming when they're looting. Say, yeah, y'all go in there and do.
Because you taught me something.
Just.
If you don't post it, it didn't happen.
Yep. And she got arrested, of course.
Unbelievable.
Crying in the,
Unbelievable. I can't see. You filmed. Well, that's why the kids killed the girl in Mexico, and they filmed the whole thing. All right. We want you to join us tomorrow. 8 a.m. is our virtual service. 11 a.m. is our first in-person service of the day. Our first worship encounter is 11 a.m. 6 p.m. is our communion encounter. You don't want to miss either one.
Yep.
We invite you to come on out and be with us as we have a great time in the Lord. Great worship, great praise. The Word of God coming like you need it to come. So we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow here at the Plaza in Lindenwold, New Jersey. We want to remember that our midweek services are noon and 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Those are our midweek encounters. We want you to come and be a part of that. If you'd like to get some news updates about our ministry, you can text BBC News to 28950. That's BBC News to 28950. If you want to get some devotional messages during the week, something to give you some encouragement, you text BBC Elevate to 28950. That's BBC Elevate to 28950. We'd love praying with you. Send your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com. And we want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. For Pastor Nick, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. So glad you joined us today. Thank you for all our callers from around the nation. Remember this now. Faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on Point.